What's going on, everybody? Hopefully y'all are having a good weekend, and hopefully y'all are staying safe. But you know, everybody knows, well, at least in the U.S., it's Girl Scout cookie season. So I'm a major sweet tooth, and I love sweets. So I'm like, how can I make these better? So I decided, let's try to make one of the most famous cookies. At least for me, it's my favorite Girl Scout cookie, which is the Samoas. So I'm like, you know what? Let's see if I can do it better. And I made it into a cupcake. So hopefully y'all enjoy this, and hopefully you guys try it out so you guys can enjoy it as much as I did and everybody who got to taste it. So hopefully, and let's get it going. All right, first thing we're gonna get going is we're gonna go ahead and get this caramel going. So here we're gonna take a cup of sugar and about 4 to 5 tablespoons of water. Then we're gonna go ahead and turn the heat on to about medium to medium high, and you're gonna pretty much whisk this until everything gets dissolved and it starts boiling like this, bubbling like this. You're gonna let this sit, don't touch it. Let it bubble until you get that dark golden brown. Once that happens, we're going to throw some butter in there, mix it in. And then once that butter is melted, we're going to take some heavy cream, cold, and we're going to whisk that in there. You're going to keep whisking it as you go. It's going to bubble up a little bit because it's hot, but keep going until you pretty much use the whole half a cup. So now, after that's done, we're going to go and toast our coconut. So here we're pretty much just going to take a non-stick pan, no oil or anything like that, and then let it toast. You're going to get a nice brown like this. So we're going to set this aside with the caramel so this cools down. Now we're going to start getting this batter going. Here is everything you're going to need for this batter. So pretty much just go with this. This is going to make about, I think I made like 16 or 17 cupcakes. If you need to do more, go ahead. Like always, we're going to go and pretty much take our dry ingredients and give that a good mix up. So our cornstarch, our baking soda, baking powder, and everything, and mix it all together. With the whisk, make sure everything gets incorporated and mixed up. We're going to take some room temp softened butter, and then we're going to take our sugar, and we're going to whip that up until everything gets nice and creamy and fluffy. You're going to pretty much, if you don't have a stand mixer, you can use an electric mixer, or you can use your hand if you want. It's just going to take a little bit extra time, but use a paddle. You're going to pretty much make it until it's nice and fluffy. Now we're going to start mixing our dry and wet ingredients together. So here you're going to take your mixture with all your stuff, your dry ingredients. You're going to take that butter mixture and put it in here. Do a little bit of a time just to make sure you get everything nice and incorporated. After we got that going, we're going to go ahead and take our buttermilk and milk mixture and pour it in there a little bit at a time until you get a nice consistency. This is pretty much the consistency that we're looking for, a little bit thicker than pancake mix. Now we're going to take our cupcake tin and we're going to line them with the cupcake cup things. I don't know what they're called. Here, you're going to pretty much fill them up until 3/4 of the way of all of them. Here, I used a little scoop here. I forget what it's called, but a little bit of a scoop. And, filled it up as there. Once we get everything filled up to where we want, we're going to go and slam it down just to make sure we get all the air bubbles out of here, just like this. Then we're going to put this into the oven at 325 for about 17 to 19 minutes. Now that our cupcakes are cooling, we're gonna go and get this frosting started. So I used a cup of butter here and pretty much just whip it into just to get everything in there. Then I used 2 cups of powdered sugar. I added a little bit at a time, so I don't want to add too much at one time. Gave that a good mix up until I got the consistency that I wanted. Then I used a tablespoon of, or not a tablespoon, but a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then once I got the consistency just like this, I went and used the caramel sauce that we have to make a salted caramel buttercream frosting. Here, I think I used 3 or 4 teaspoons of the caramel sauce. You can use as much or as little as you want. And then you're going to give that a good mix up and set to the side. Now we're going to get everything going for our ganache. So here I used 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, brought that up to a simmer or a little bit higher than a simmer. You can get everything warm. And then I used a can of coconut milk just to get a little extra goodness in there. Once it's got this to a nice temperature, you know, something like this, we're going to go and get our ganache going. So for the ganache, the chocolate that I used a espresso dark chocolate. It's really hard to find, so that's why I like to use it. And when I can find it, it's really delicious. But if you don't have it, you can go ahead and use normal chocolate chip or whatever chocolate that you want to use. You can go ahead and use that. So we're going to add a little bit at a time and mix it up, and then add a little bit more until we get a nice velvety, creamy texture. You get that nice little shine, as you can see as it's coming along right here. We got that nice little shine going. Now that our cupcakes are cooled, we're gonna take them and dip them into the chocolate. Try to get, here, I found it easier just to dip and twist, just to get that nice clean top that we want, that nice shiny, just like this. And you're gonna pretty much just do all of them to the cupcakes. Once you get all of them done, just let them sit to the side and let them cool all the way down and let them harden a little bit, so it's easier to put everything else on. You don't want to do it now because the chocolate is going to come off. Now that our chocolate is hardened a little bit, we're going to go and put the frosting on there. If you don't have a piping bag, that's fine. You can just use a spoon or some sort of frosting spatula or a flat anything. And do it that way. Here I just piped them on there to make it a little bit easier, and then I use one of my frosting little spatula things that I have to actually make the top more presentable. Now that I got my tops looking a bit more presentable, we're going to go ahead and smother these in some fresh shaved toasted coconuts. Be generous with this, don't be afraid, you know, or use as little as you want or use as much as you want. Here I used a pretty generous amount for all of them. Once the coconut's done, we're going to take the rest of that caramel sauce and we're going to pretty much put it over the top. If you don't have a squeeze bottle, that's fine. You can use a spoon or whatever you need to do to use that. You can use a piping bag if you want to. So pretty much, guys, this wraps up this video. If you guys haven't tried this yet or tried this cupcake, it is super good, and I guarantee you're gonna love it. You're gonna have anybody that's tried them pretty much asking you to make them all the time. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and smash that like button. It really helps me out of what the content that I need or what content you guys like to see. And if this is the first time you are on this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on any more recipes. So hopefully you guys having an awesome weekend and have an awesome day. Peace.